Happy New Year, everyone! So, starting off 2021 with a little bit of GT Sport after ruining my DR and SR rating in the weekend from Saturday and Sunday from 23,000 to 13,000, which made me quite upset. I decided to maybe rescue it a little bit with the new daily races in Monza, Group 4, because everyone of course on Monday is starting to get used to the track and to the groups and to the cars. Therefore, beginning with the Viper, setting pretty decent qualifying time of 1:57.115, which was pretty decent compared to the rest of the field in driver rating B. But then, as everyone starts to get a little bit more accustomed to it and the first faster drivers coming online, the Veyron seems to be a little bit more of a quicker car around Monza, being 80% full throttle. And I also experienced in the races that in the faster parts of the track, the Viper, especially in comparison to the Peugeot, was lacking a little bit of top speed. So therefore, buying the car and driving it for the first time, and starting in P5, as you can see, we are already through the first two chicanes, gaining a little bit of positions and coming from 5 to 3. In the fast right hand corner, losing it to the Italian in his pretty quick bet. He is sticking to the inside on the corner, and we managed to get through the corner without any incidents. So therefore back in P4, going into the slipstream, going a little bit to the inside to not bump into him, the Veyron being the much bigger and heavier car than the Peugeot, so there's always the risk to bump into someone into the braking zone, causing a penalty and also a collision. So therefore staying in the slipstream, of course, trying to gain as much as possible, again going a little bit to the inside to don't get into the risk of bumping into him, trying to get clean exit, staying on the throttle, going on the throttle early, and gaining as much as possible time in the slipstream of the Peugeot. Right behind me, Danish driver, also in the Veyron, had two races with him before that one, and experienced that he is a little bit more on the aggressive side, so therefore trying to covering up the inside, not to compromise my exit too much, but as you can see, losing a little bit of ground compared to the Peugeot, the Veyron being very close, and therefore trying to get into the wind shadow, staying as clean as possible, covering up the inside a little bit, seeing that he is going to the right, so therefore trying again apex to apex, trying to get a clean exit, going on the throttle early, and going clean to the fast right corners. Very important to hit the apex on that one, and also on the other, because there is coming the long back straight, and with a poor exit out of that corner, of course, the whole straight, you're lacking a little bit of speed. Ale, the Italian driver in the Viper, having a penalty, therefore earning P3. Both of us getting a little bit wide on the apex, therefore lifting in the fast chicane not to bump into him, but of course having to lift, and therefore the Veyron behind me got very, very close to us, going to the inside to cover up, and yeah, the Danish guy being a little bit too aggressive, bumping into me 2 times, also playing a little bit of the fender bender game with the Italian behind me, pushing him wide. And at that place I should have been switching to the left side to gain the draft to the Italian. The Peugeot missed that opportunity, tried to cover up, but then decided to rather be on the left hand side through the chicane to maybe able to get a better exit, because the Veyron also has a little bit of a wider turning circle. But Anders Algren, the Danish driver, managed to get through, getting into P2, and so therefore same game as the round before with the Peugeot. Stay in the slipstream, don't lose time, and try to hit the chicane as clean as possible. And here apex to apex, getting a pretty good exit here, getting a little bit loose on the back end, therefore I can switch to the inside. Very carefully stay to the inside. There's a little bit of a bump from him from the outside, therefore he gets himself bumped a little bit wide, gets onto the gravel, and as you can see in the replay cam up front, he's also getting into the gravel again. From that on, my race was pretty much smooth sailing. I was gaining a pretty decent gap of 1 or 1.5 seconds, because everyone else had to wait a little bit because of the off track. The two Italians going at it, unfortunately going a little bit wide from the Peugeot, hitting the Viper, which gets into the barrier to a full stop. And now the two Peugeots and the Veyron from the Danish driver are head-to-head battling it out for P4. Another German guy in the Veyron now in P3 behind me. And those two very clean racing, very close racing. The French driver going around the outside, gaining position 5, having the better exit, both head-to-head. And yeah, the French guy in the slipstream of the Veyron. Now the Italian already signaling to make a little bit of a move, and therefore they are switching right around the Veyron from both sides. He's seeing it too late, therefore hitting both, cause a collision, and unfortunately those two guys losing positions. Danish driver remains in P4. Seems to be smooth sailing for him as well. From that point on, the French driver in the monster Peugeot seeing in round 1, back in P5 after having to serve that penalty in round 1. And a little bit more back in the field, 7, 8 and 9, two Veyrons, one from the Netherlands, Norwegian guy, and right behind him again the Italian. And already very close to both of them. A little bit of a bump on the inside from the Veyron, and then again the Italian fast bet back in the right hand corner, making that move stick again, second time in that race, earning position 8. Of course the Veyron being pretty fast in a straight line, and also back in the slipstream, sticking to the Peugeot through the apexes of the fast chicane. Both pretty close. The Veyron going a little bit wide to stay on full throttle, to not lose top end speed, being right at the back bumper of the Peugeot. And now looking a little bit to the inside, going to the inside, to the braking zone, braking a little bit of bumping, but the Italian remains at P8. I in the meantime finish at P2 with the fastest lap of the race. Managed to get a little bit closer to the leading car, also having a little bit of a penalty in the last round. So therefore very interesting, very clean race, had a lot of fun, and yeah, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.